Hi there from a very windy and dark Musselburgh, East Lothian in the UK. One of the first things you're going to do when you get yourself your new camera is get the memory card that you'll need for it. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a dual memory card slot camera, like I do, I've got 5D Mark III, and it's got two slots, one for a compact flash card and one for an SD card. I think you could do worse than getting yourself one of these. I've heard there's different types. Now, some cameras already come wireless enabled, and if that's the case, then switch off now because this video is not for you. If you're unfortunate enough to have a camera that's not got any Wi-Fi capability, then this is maybe what you're looking for, something like this. I've heard of a couple of different kind of types. There's one called iFi. I was gifted one of these at Christmas here, Toshiba Flashair wireless LAN. I shouldn't really have looked up the price, but there you go, it was 30 quid, but if you were lucky enough you could have got it for 24 quid. And it really is a breath of fresh air compared with what I used to have to do if I wanted to quickly browse images. I used to have people at the back of the camera or looking at the LCD screen, and not ideal, especially if you're in a situation that, you know, sometimes it's when you're doing landscape pictures, you've got your camera all set up, and then you have to kind of move it because the light's moved and you can't see what's on the back of the screen, etc. So one of these things, put in your camera. As I say, I've got two slots. Mine's got a compact flash card and got this 32 gig Toshiba wireless LAN. When you get this, plug it into your camera and connect it to the computer. Alternatively, if you've got a card slot or a card reader, put it in there, connect it to the computer. Make sure there's power to the card reader or the camera at that point, and then go to the Toshiba website and download the software you need to run it. I'm not going to download it and update because I've already got it on here. Download it, run the setup software. Once you've done that, your card is effectively a wireless LAN. Now, in my camera, I use it slightly differently to, not slightly differently. I do use it as an SD card, and if you have a Canon camera, I tend to set it up this way. And my card number one, I'll set up to do RAW files, and card number two will mirror that. If, for instance, say I'm doing a wedding, so it's an immediate backup. Take the picture on card one, it'll immediately back up to card two. So if one card fails, the camera will automatically start, recording to the second card, and I'll not lose any pictures. The way I've got it set up when I'm doing landscape stuff or outside stuff, or just indeed portraits, if you're doing portrait session for people, they always want to see what's on the back of the camera. Again, if you've got your lights set up, you've got your camera set up, you don't really want to be moving things, and you've taken a couple of cracking pictures and you think, just going to quickly let them see it. This is an easier way to do it. Buy one of these cards, get it set up with the software as I've said, put it in your camera. Then you could use your Huddle or your Android device, for those not in the kind of UK. If you've got an iPad, Android device, iPhone or Galaxy phone, anything that's Wi-Fi kind of capable. What you do is when this is on and there's power to the camera, it's immediately on. You don't have to go in and turn it on. As soon as the power's to the camera and you've got it's all configured, this will immediately be broadcasting as a wireless LAN. So, person with a phone or the Huddle or the iPad, whatever, they go to their Wi-Fi settings when they're close by, and you have to be fairly close by, 3 or 4 meters. I've not tried it any further away than that. I've been assured that you need to stay relatively close. they go to the Wi-Fi settings on their device, look it up, and this network will show up. You give them the password. There's a default password of something like 1234567 8. I've changed mine, but give it a default password and give the password to the person with the phone, and they'll be able to log in. Now, once they've logged in, they will also, prior to logging in actually, download an app called Flashair. It's a Flashair viewer, if you like. Download that to their phone or their tablet, and once they've connected wirelessly to the camera, you then open the app, and the app will browse whatever goes onto that memory card. Now, I set my memory card up to take this, but when I'm shooting, anything that's not a wedding, I set it up to take low res JPEGs. Now, the reason for that is the speed of transfer. If it's high res or if it's raw files, they take far too long to go from the camera to the device, the tablet or the viewer. So by having the low res setting, it's almost immediate. The minute that take the picture on the camera, you see the picture on the back of the LCD screen in the camera, and by the time it disappears off the back of the camera, it's appeared in your app for viewing. Now, at that point, it's just for viewing. You can use the app to download, but as I say, they're very low res. I have it set up, so you probably wouldn't want to. But if you wanted to have high res, you could have high res. It would just take a little bit longer to download. So yeah, good purchase. Highly recommend it. Make sure your kind of camera, or make sure your camera, your images in your camera are viewable by others. And you don't just have to have one person viewing it. You can have 5 or 6 people. Maybe you've taken a series of family portraits. Everyone who's got a Wi-Fi enabled device, you give them all the password. They can all have a look at what's happening. And the beauty of the viewer thing only is that if they wanted to download these things to their own phones or tablets, whatever, they're downloading a low res. They're not going to steal or print out a low res, and also they're not able to cause any destructive elements to the stuff in camera. Now, because the low res are here, and because the way I've got my camera set up, the high res raw files are still safe on another card in the camera. So there you go. Just a quick review of the Toshiba Flashair. One other tip, if you do get this, is do not format the card in camera. Take your camera, hook it up to your computer, as I said, and format using the software. Don't format using the kind of standard menu settings to format your card, because all you do is delete the wireless settings, and then you have to go through the procedure of setting up again from as a new card. So hope that helps. Hope that gives some advice to anyone wanting to use it. I did see some of the reviews in here. They're not very nice reviews, some of them. If you go to the kind of 1-star reviews, I don't think there's any 1 stars. Let's have a look at 69. There is actually some 1 stars and 2 stars. These tend all to be around the same issue, and it's to do with a Nikon D7000 or D3100. Apparently the card and that are not compatible, but according to the customer reviews, they're not compatible according to the device that are compatible. So there's obviously some issue there with Nikon users, but all in all, I found it very good. It's a class 10 card, so it's fairly quick transfer rates when you're using it in the normal mode with not wireless and just transferring images to your PC. Now, I quickly took a couple of pictures, and just to show you the difference in quality, if I highlight that and I hit the spacebar on my PC, now the image is just the image. It's if I go that there, I can tell just by looking at that what one is the low res and what one is the high res. And if I click here, you see there's barely any movement in this image, and that's because this should be a full zoom in function. If I do it in this one here, full zooming in function like that, and the fact it's not doing that, it tells me that's a low res image. And if I hover the mouse over there, you may or may not be able to see down here. If I keep the mouse here, it should zoom in now. We're looking at, for the raw file, and it's a fairly small raw file, but it's raw file, and let's say 300 pixels per inch, 8.66 megabytes, and the dimensions of this, it's a big picture. Excuse me, big picture. And if we have a look at this one, the JPEG, and we go to the size of the image, it's 72, so it's 300 pixels per inch on the big picture. This one is 72, so it's about a quarter of the pixels that the actual raw file was taken at, and the size is in kilobytes, 717 kilobytes. Very small picture size. But if it's just for viewing on the back of instead of viewing on the back of the LCD, if you just want to quickly view your, it's good for color settings. You know that's this one's been altered a little bit. My camera was set to shade in the tungsten setting, and that's why that's very orange and that's not. So yeah, very happy with it, and would definitely recommend it to others. So hope this helps somebody in their choice of memory card choice.